Hello. The private sector should be the route for education innovation. We cannot wait for solutions from the government. The private sector, companies and entrepreneurs know what skills we need now and also in the future. They know how technology moves and they need to move along with it because their and their employees' livelihoods depend on it. When you think about traditional education, it is focused a lot on theoretical learning and it moves slowly. That's the reason we need innovation from the private sector and support for that kind of innovation. We live in a very changing world. Technology moves and we need to learn with it to live and work. We also need to change the skills. It's a very great quote. And do you know who said it? Someone or something that has been mentioned a few times today already. ChatGPT. We all know that the world is changing. Technology is moving and we need to go with it. But the source of our knowledge and skills, education, is not moving quickly enough. We focus too much on the theoretical part and not on the practice. Traditional education teaches more how things have been, not how things will be. And it also assumes that everybody learns in the same way, like here. That somebody standing in front of a group of people, telling you something and hoping that you will remember at least something. This is also my personal experience from education. I studied history in a very old and well-known institution, not too far from this stage. I went to study it because I've loved history since I was a kid. I wanted to know how things are connected, how past events affect what's happening today. Also, at that moment, I was very bored at my job and I thought I needed a hobby. So I came here. I was one of the few to actually graduate on time. This is me receiving my diploma. And I did everything well on paper. I learned everything for the exams. And I do mean for the exams, because even if you asked me like a few weeks after the exam, I couldn't remember. It was a lot of facts and figures. And if you ask me what I learned in history now, I'm not gonna even try. But why? Because we didn't have a lot of discussions or analysis to connect what we were learning to how it's affecting the world and also how it's affecting us today. History is a field where you need to know the facts and figures, obviously. But the same kind of methodology is in a lot of different fields also. But when we talk about the way how adults are learning, it has to be life-centered. When we learn something as adults, we try to connect it to something that we've done in our past or how we will start using it in the future. Basically, we have to get our hands dirty for our brains to remember. And this is why we need to get the private sector involved. Private sector is in the forefront of technology and how technology is moving. It has to move quickly, because otherwise competitors are going to get out of the way. And it also matters how long it takes to train somebody, even like if they come to work in the first spot, or if they have been with the company for a while and need to retrain someone. And companies are willing to put their money where the mouth is. And I know this because I've been leading one of these kind of initiatives for 2 years now. Code was started by 8 Estonian entrepreneurs. It is funded by companies from the Estonian startup sector and also more traditional economy. But why? We have a problem in the job market. We need more people who know how to code. Technology is moving. I think I've said that 10 times already, but it's still a fact. But at the moment, when you look at the education scene, there is not enough people coming from vocational schools and universities. Based on latest research, we need at least 8,000 people who know code. And that is in a population of 1.3 million. Imagine what the number is in the whole world. And so, Code came to be. Because what do entrepreneurs do when they see a problem? They don't wait for the government to solve it. They come up with a solution themselves. Code is a new kind of school that works without teachers. It uses a self-learning platform where everything is done in a practical way. So you learn how to code through actually doing those coding tasks. You also work in teams. So you get the experience of working with a lot of different kind of people. Some of them you might like, some of them maybe not, but it's experience. What it means is that it mimics how it will be to actually work in real life if you become a developer. And what are the results? With 2 years, we've had more than 7,000 people applying to the school. At the moment, we have about 500 students, and we're accepting another 500 this year. We have people from 18 to 62, so lifelong learning at its finest. The average age is 27. We have people who come with basic education, so they have graduated 9th grade, 12th grade, bachelor, master's, and even PhD. So it's for people who are adults and want to learn something new in a new and practical kind of manner. But how can we actually build Codejõhvi? It is because of the private sector. This is the list of our partners, and it's an impressive list. I'm very proud of it. We have 6 out of the Estonian 10 unicorns. I'm still trying to chase the 4, hopefully gonna catch them soon. We have 2 of the biggest banks. We have the biggest employer in the Ida-Virumaa. So these are the companies who are actually supporting the education of their future employees. And they're funding it to make sure that the skills that the people know are the ones that they actually need. So on one hand, they're supporting us with funds, but on the other, we also get a lot of input from the job market. They help us to develop the program. So again, as technology changes, we can change with it. About 20% from our first class have actually started to work. So based on the education that has been funded by the private sector, they have gone to work and started paying taxes for the state. So education by the private sector is providing value to the state, but at the moment it's not valued by the state. Codejõhvi is not an official education institution because we do not fit to any of the boxes set by the ministry. And at the moment, to the school and also to the students, the benefits and funding from the state do not apply. I'm not saying that education from the private sector should substitute the public sector education, no. What I'm saying is that we need to support these kind of new initiatives. We need to make sure that they have the similar kind of benefits that the education from the public sector and similar kind of support, because we need more and more these kind of new ways. We can't assume that everybody learns in the same way, so we need to provide alternative options. All of us can do something to build the education that we want ourselves, our kids, and also actually our older people to get. So what can you do? If you work in education, bring real life into your classrooms. Talk to companies, talk to entrepreneurs who work in the field. Make sure that they come to the classroom, they share the experience, they talk to your students. So your students make connections to the real life. And they will also make more educated decisions on their job selections in the future. And for the companies, it's a good way how to see what is being taught, and they can give you input on what is changing and maybe what new kind of skills do you need. In general, just support new kind of initiatives and also education innovators. It's not an easy way or easy road to try to build something new. You are experimenting a lot, and sometimes it doesn't have to go 100% right in the first try. But just this kind of support matters. It can be with funds, but it could also be just with a kind word and a supportive message that you're doing a good thing, keep going, even if it's tough. Because this is how we build new initiatives. And if you're hiring, value skills over a paper. A paper or diploma should not be the only indicator of what somebody can do. Check what kind of practical skills do they have. And it doesn't matter how they have obtained them. Has it been in a traditional education? Has it been in an alternative option? Have they done it on themselves? As long as they have the skills, that's the main thing that matters. All of us have the same goal. We want to have a more educated people around us that have skills that are valuable now and also in the future, and to make sure that nobody's left behind, irrespective of their age or their previous background. For that, we need to have more initiatives from the private sector that support this kind of education. Private sector moves fast, cares about how every euro is spent, and does not allow drops in quality, also in education. So we need to support education innovation from the private sector to have a more flexible and adaptive options for everybody, to move along with technology and to grow as a society. Thank you.